What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another collaboration beer, this time between the Imprint Beer Company out of Hatfield, Pennsylvania, and the Neshaminy Creek Brewing Company out of Croydon, Pennsylvania, and this is their Lupulin Fiend. So this is a New England-style Triple IPA that comes in 11% alcohol by volume, no IBUs listed in time of review. This can is approximately 3 weeks old. I want to give a huge thanks and shout out to a very good friend of mine and viewer of the channel, Alex, for hooking me up with this one. Post a link in the description box to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies that Alex sent my way. And when I did the unboxing video, I was like, oh, Neshaminy Creek, but this is brewed at Imprint's facility, but it is a collaboration between Imprint and Neshaminy Creek, and I've had some Neshaminy Creek beers, and I enjoy what they do. So on the side here, it just says Hazy IPA collaboration. Does not say the ABV, but on their Instagram page and on tap, it says 11%. Definitely a New England style Triple IPA, and yeah, this is a big beer. They're brewing this one with Mosaic, Citra, and Simcoe hops, some of my favorite hops, and yeah, let's crack this one open and see what we got going on. This is a big beer. I'm kind of excited for it, but a little bit of afraid too, because I drink a lot of triples, but most of them are in 10, 10 and a half. 11, they're starting breaching pretty high. So yeah, this is not as hazy as I thought it would be, but it definitely has some haze to it. We're just going to pour like half. We're not trying to get crazy. Nah, let me take that back. You know, once you pour it in the can and whatnot. I also like the artwork. Really nice. It's just, I don't know, very cartoonish, but I get what they're going for. So yeah, it's definitely hazy. Has this deeper orange color. Definitely some murk behind it. Not, it doesn't look milky or crazy, but it definitely looks like, an older school hazy, from like 3, 4, 5 years ago, right? It doesn't have the current haze to it. About a half finger of this off-white, relatively creamy colored head. Some alcohol legs there. Yeah, it looks like a very nice IPA of some sort. Apparently a triple. So let's get a nose on it. Wow, that smells awesome. Oh man, what is that? Man, it has that dankness that I get sometimes that I associate with like a stinky cheese, and I know that sounds stupid as a tasting note or like even the aroma, but like it just has like a stinky kind of cheese character. But I dig that. Just like when people, including myself, get like the onion garlic kind of dankness to the beer, and people are like, that sounds disgusting in an IPA and a beer, and it's like, yeah, it does sound disgusting. But when you taste it, you enjoy it, and you're drinking on it, and you're smelling, you're like, man, this actually smells pretty good. Kind of what I'm getting from this big, intense dankness. Probably from the Simcoe. A lot of people will say Simcoe gives you like, cat pee vibes, like I mean, it does in a lot of respects, especially older school Simcoe beers. I don't get it too much anymore, but it definitely does. But after that, really nice, like fruity quality. I'm almost getting like cotton candy, probably from the yeast. Really weird. But then like a lot of sweeter stone fruit, sweet like gummy ring, like peach gummy rings, apricot, fleshy mango, and just things like that. Crushed pineapple, very sweet fruits, like ripe to over-ripened. Pretty much what I'm getting. It smells sweet. That cotton candy type of thing is in there as well. Man, it smells fucking dynamite. It really does. It smells like a big beer though. I can smell the alcohol. One thing about Triple IPAs that I drink a lot of, like other half and whatnot, they do a good job at hiding the alcohol. In the nose here, it's definitely there. But I don't care. It smells really good. Let's get into it. Cheers to everybody, and thanks again, Alex. You know what? For 11%, that's pretty nice. That's a pretty nice beer. So the first things I think most people will notice about this one is it's definitely sweet. It's hard to hide the sweetness of 11% beer. I don't care if it's a huge barrel-aged imperial stout or it's a triple IPA. So much malt being used, it's going to be sweet. It's a bigger ABV beer. You expect that, and I expect that. And this has a nice candied sweetness to it. Peach gummy rings right at the forefront. A little bit of that cotton candy carries over, probably from the yeast. Sweeter, fleshier, peach, apricot. More of like a crushed pineapple. Definitely sweet at the forefront. A lot of fruitiness. That yeast is there, like I said, with the cotton candy. Pass through the palate, though. That's where that dankness comes in. It's not like stinky cheese dankness on the palate. It's just more of like a generic dankness, maybe a little bit of an herbal component, touch of grassiness, but big dank vibe halfway through the palate. As it carries on, the sweetness continues throughout. This one finishes with a slightly dry, slightly bittering component. This one definitely leads to the sweeter side of things, though. So if you're somebody who doesn't like big, sweet IPAs, you probably wouldn't like this one. I don't think it's cloying. I don't think it's too sweet, but it definitely is sweet to some degree. And it might be a bit too sweet for some. For me, not really, just because I'm used to bigger beers like this and I get the sweetness and I kind of appreciate and understand it. Yeah, mild to moderate bitterness on the back end. I don't know how many times I can say mild to moderate bitterness in a review or in all my reviews, but yeah, I mean, I want to be able to say moderate to high bitterness at some point. So maybe at some point I'll review a beer like some, and just like, you know, palate wrecking, just crazy bitterness from a beer. But a lot of beers nowadays don't have that anymore. That's just not what it is. So anyway, body and mouthfeel. Body in this one, medium to higher side of being. It is definitely thin 11%. This does not drink like an 11% beer. Yeah, straight up medium body, which it's a touch thin. It's a bit thin. It's actually quite a bit thin, but I'm okay with that. I've mentioned this in other reviews, but I'm okay with the body of a beer like this, 11% Triple IPA being thin. If this was 11% barrel-aged stout and it was, you know, medium body, I'd be pretty pissed off. I want those thick, viscous, and chewy. These, not so much. I want it to be more drinkable than it is. The mouthfeel is the only thing that kind of loses me from this beer. I don't think it's necessarily in the New England style or in the hazy style. There's more carbonation here. It's not as soft and smooth. There's no creaminess, but I'm still okay with it. I'm fine with the body, even though it's a bit thin, and I'm fine with the mouthfeel, even though it's not really New England style. It doesn't really matter to me. But overall, this is a really nice beer. The alcohol, it definitely is noticeable on the palate, but it's not too much. I would probably guess 9 to 10%, so it hides it a little bit. But drinking this one, I probably could tell you this is definitely an Imperial IPA and borderline triple. I would probably guess like 9.5, 10 if I was doing it blind. But as I'm drinking it, you know, there isn't like a huge astringency on the palate or anything. Big warming into the chest, into the stomach, slight astringency on the palate, and not even astringency, just like, hey, it's a bigger beer, it's bolder, you kind of understand it. Overall, though, it has nice juicy vibes to it, has nice sweeter fruit vibes to it. There's enough of that dankness and the mild to moderate bitterness and dryness to kind of stop it from being cloying, even though it is still sweet. And it's a really nice collaboration. It's nothing that is blowing my mind, but like, you know, for what it is, an 11% Triple IPA, I think they did a pretty good job with it. So, Lupulin Fiend from Imprint and Neshaminy Creek. I'm going to give it a high 4 out of 5, almost breaching into low 4.25. I'm gonna go 4.1 out of 5 for this one. It doesn't quite get to the 4.25. I want a little better and bigger body. I want the mouthfeel a little bit be like, you know, soft, smooth, and creamy. You do that, it's into a 4.25 all day. As is though, it's a nice collaboration. So many collaboration beers go sideways, or they're not as good as the breweries individually brewing the beer themselves. So when I find a good collaboration that I enjoy, I'm always happy about it. So once again, thanks to Alex for hooking me up with this one. Really cool. As far as price and availability, I don't have any idea what the availability is. I know Imprint's usually brewery only, but if they're doing a collab with Neshaminy Creek, maybe you got out some local bottle shops, maybe Neshaminy Creek sold it at their brewery. Who knows? I have no idea. So Alex, if you know or anybody else, let me know. Price point on this one, I believe it was $22 4-pack. When I saw their Instagram page, when I looked at it like a week ago, $22 4-pack. I mean, listen, I think the value is there for an 11% Triple IPA, $5.50 a can. I think it's worth it. Would I personally pay that myself, even though I didn't pay it the first time because Alex was kind enough to send it to me? I think I would grab a 4-pack of this just to try it out of curiosity if I've never had it before. Having it now, I don't think I'd ever buy another can of it at that price point. I would like to see this in like the $18, $16 to $18 range, like $4.50 a can to purchase this again. But, you know, that doesn't really matter because probably never going to try this one again. They probably won't brew it again. And if they do, probably won't get my hands on it. But I think like I always say, value's in the eye of the beholder. And with a beer like this, I think if you see these two breweries and you're like, hey, I want to try this, $22 4-pack isn't stupid. But if you've had this one before and you give it a 4 out of 5 like I did, a 4.1, I don't think you'd repurchase it at $5.50 a can. But that's just kind of my opinion on it. So once again, thank you very much, Alex, for all the beers you've sent my way. This was a lot of fun to try. 2 breweries that I've had beers from before, and yeah, really good beer. So again, if you've had this one before, definitely post in the comments. Let me know what you think about it. Appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review. Thanks again, Alex. Until the next one, cheers.